Hello, my junk removal friends, and for those of you that don't know me, I'm Bob Summers, and I'm known as the Google review guy in junk removal circles. And what I want to talk about today in this video is step 5 in the superhero strategy for getting Google reviews for your junk removal business. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot more to this than just step 5, which is how do you ask for a Google review so that people want to write it for you? You know, there's the preparation stage, the presentation stage, and we're going to look at step 5, which is there, and then the promotion stage. Now, remember, there's way more to this than just asking, but this is an important thing, and people have wanted to know, what is the most effective way for me to ask? So here we go. So you're on the job, you've done everything you need to up until the time you're going to ask. You know your customer is happy, you've provided that lanyard, that step 4, that little extra, and now it's time to ask. So here we go. Hey Julie, later today or tonight or whenever you get a few minutes, will you write a review for us on Google about your experience with our company? Would you do that for us? Well, wonderful, thank you. Hey, what I'd like to do to make this really easy for you is send you an email that has a link in it that will take you right to Google where you can write that review later today. Would that be okay? Wonderful. And then I'm going to put Julie's email in my phone, which is what I'm going to use to send it, and I may have it already. Now, after and only after I get permission to send it by email, only then am I going to say, Julie, if you'd like, I can text this request to you too. Would you like me to do that? And I'll explain why I do that in a moment. As soon as she says yes, I am standing in front of her. This is the most important thing if you want the highest percentage of your junk removal customers writing reviews. You absolutely, positively have to send them that email or that text or both with a link in it to Google while you are standing in front of them. Now, folks, I'll tell you this. If you turn around and go in your truck and you send it from your laptop or from your phone, when you're in your truck, they will not write a review. How do I know this? I work with thousands of customers. I've done this for 10 years, and there is no exception to this rule. If you want 4 times as many Google reviews as every other junk removal company is getting, you're going to send that email or text with a link to your Google review page from your phone while you are standing in front of your customer. All right, now, after I do it, listen to what I say, and I'll tell you why I say this. Julie, thank you so much. You know, the owner reads our Google reviews aloud every morning, and it's such a great way to start the day. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Now, if you're the owner, you're going to say, Julie, thank you so much. You know, I read our Google reviews aloud to the whole crew every morning. It's such a great way to start the day. I'm looking forward to reading your comments. Now, what did I just do? This was quick. First of all, I want you to notice what I didn't do. I said, Julie, if you're happy, will you write a review? Julie, will you give us a 5-star review if we did a good job? No, those are all leading, and you don't need to do that, right? Leave that go. So step 1 is clearly ask your customer if they will write a review for you on Google. Julie, will you write a review for us on Google about your experience with us? Later today or tonight, whenever you get a couple of minutes, will you write a review for us on Google? So step 1, clearly ask them if they will write a review for you on Google. Step number 2, get permission to send the review request, which is your link to your Google page, by email. Now, I'm going to come back to the text thing in a minute, but you always want to send it by email. Now, why is that? You know, Bob, it's 2021. It's almost 2022. Everybody's texting. Well, keep in mind, with our service that we have, that we use, we can send it by text or email. And I have no dog in the fight. I don't care how you do it. But if you want twice as many Google reviews, literally twice as many Google reviews, you will always send your review request by email. And then, and only then, ask your customer, if you'd like, I can text it to you too. Now, you're going to have the ability to send a link by email and text if you want to get the most out of your ability to get Google reviews. Now, let's start with email. Why email? Why is it still so unbelievably effective? Well, here they are. A couple of reasons. Number 1, if you think about this, yes, virtually everyone opens every text they ever get. That's great. And if someone is compelled to do it, they will open every email that you send them because they want to and they're expecting it. But that's not the issue. Here's the issue. When people get a text message, they tend to open it right away. Now, if I get a text message asking me to write a review and I'm in a place to write a review at that time, I might do it. On the other hand, oftentimes I'm not in a place to write a review then. However, when I open my email, I generally have time to read my emails when I open it. That is also when I have time to write a review. That's number one. Number two, with email, why email? Well, here's what I can tell you. When someone gets an email with a link to your Google page, there is a 60% chance they're logged into their Google account. Now, you may or may not know this, but in order for your customers to write Google reviews for you, they have to be logged into their Google account before they can write a review. When they click on your link, if they're not logged in, and 40% are not, Google's going to pop open a box that says, hey, you need to log in with your password first before we can let you write a review. Now, of those 40% of your customers who get that email who are not logged into their account, a third of them know what their password is. No big deal. They type it in and boom. 2/3 have no idea what their password is. So they're stuck. So here's the thing. If I send it by email and text, I've doubled my chances of them being logged in. And here's what I mean by that. If I send it by text, we also know, because we send millions of these, that your customer has a 60% chance likelihood they are logged into their Google account and a 40% chance they're not on their text. So if you can send it by email always and text too, you've literally doubled your chances of them being logged into their account where they can write a review without, not having to know what their password is, okay? So, and this is why we recommend getting an email first and then a password. And the reason for that is if you get permission to send it by email, and then you ask if you'd like, I can text it too, the vast majority of your people are going to say, sure, text me, I text all the time. However, if you get permission to send it by text first, and then say, oh, if you'd like, I can send it by email too, you're going to get very few people saying yes to the email, okay? So that's why you always get permission to send it by email first. What's the third reason? Something else you may not know. Let's consider ranking. Where does your junk removal business show up on Google with respect to all the junk removal companies in your community? Well, there are three big ranking factors that have to do with reviews. Up until 2020, there were only two, and those two factors were how many reviews do you have and what's your average score rating. Now, those are still important, but as of 2020, they're not the first and second most important thing. The first most important thing now is the quality of the written review. Did your customer actually say something, or did they just give a star rating and move on? So our goal is to get the best possible review we can. And the way to do that is after you send the request saying to that customer, hey, thank you so much. The owner reads our Google reviews aloud to the whole crew every morning. And I cannot wait to hear what you have to say. All right, now if you're the owner, you're going to say, I read them, right? When you do that, people are infinitely more likely to actually write a review, and they're infinitely more likely to write a review of consequence, more than one sentence, more than a star rating. Now, because I'm telling you this, here's another little tip I want to give you, which is really in step 4, but I'll share it here in step 5. And that is, when people write reviews, they want to name names. They want to say Dave did this and Frankie did that and Julie did this. They want to do that. And if they can't, because they don't remember your name or they never knew your name, they're going to be reluctant to write a review. So here's what I encourage you to do. Wear a name tag. If you don't have name tags or shirts that are embroidered with your name, make sure you introduce yourself to your customer. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to remember it. And so then what I would do is give them a business card with your names, everyone in the crew's names on the back of that business card. You have to make it easy for them to know and remember your name. That's how they're going to write really, really good reviews, okay? Now, the other reason you want email, I know I'm jumping around here, is because we know, and like I said, we send millions of these on behalf of our customers every year. We know that people write better, longer reviews on a keyboard than they do on their phone. Now, times are changing. People are starting to, put audio on their phone and converting it into text, which is great, but not everybody is. So that's another reason you want email. Now, I'm going to give you the final reason you want email. And again, I hope if you get anything out of this, the second most important thing is you're always going to send an email, okay? I'll get to the most important in a moment. All right, the other reason is if a customer, does not respond to your review request after 3 days, and many of them won't. They get your email or text, they're busy, they don't open it. But if you don't send some kind of a follow-up, they will not write a review for you. They just forget about you. So we go into way more detail on step 6 here, which is the follow-up, but I want to just give you a little tip here. When you send a review request to a customer, they're going to do one of 4 things. They're going to write a wonderful Google review, which is what we're hoping for. They're going to write a Google review that gets filtered by Google, and that's interesting. I'll show you what to do there later. They're going to try to write a Google review, and they can't do it because they're not logged in or they don't try. Now, you've got to be able to detect, and that's why it's important to use a Google link that's not just clickable, that's trackable, so you can literally see what your customer does or does not do. Now, this is a tip that will get 30% more reviews for you, and this is why you want to send an email. If they do not respond after 3 days, you're going to want to send them an email, not asking them to write a review a second time. That is literally the worst thing you can do. Unless, of course, you want people clicking on the spam button, then ask them to write a review a second time. No, you want to be able to see, did they try? If they didn't try, you want to follow up with an email, and you can only do this if you initially got their email. An email that reads like this: Hi, Julie. If you've not had a chance to write a review for our junk removal company yet, please don't worry about it. I just wanted to say thank you so much for your business and let you know how much we appreciate you. Signed, Bob Summers or whoever. Now, notice what I did. 2 things. Number 1, I didn't not only ask you to write a review, I told you not to worry about it. And the second thing I did is I thanked you for being a customer. That's our goal. How many times can you thank people? So the 4th reason you always want an email is so that you can send that follow-up. You do not want to send a follow-up by text. It's inappropriate. You always want their email, okay? Now, the single most important component of what I just described is sending the review request from your phone, laptop. You've got to be standing in front of your customer when you send it. And if you have an app that you can put on your phone that allows you to put in their name, email, text, whatever, along with some other cool things, and you send it, while they see you send it, they're 4 times more likely to write a review. It is the single most important thing you can do to get the highest percentage of your customers writing well-written 5-star Google reviews. You have to be able to do that, okay? So let's just do the role play one more time so that you can hear it, and here's what it sounds like. Hey, Julie. Later today, or whenever you get a few minutes, will you write a review for us on Google about your experience with our company? Would you do that for us? Hey, well, thank you so much. What I'd like to do to make this really easy for you is I'd like to send you an email that has a link in it that'll take you right to Google where you can write that review later today. Oh, and if you'd like, Julie, I can text it too if that would be easier for you. At that moment, I'm going to hit the submit button, which immediately sends a text and an email to my customer. And by the way, we both may very well hear their phone go ping that the message came in, but I have to send it while they're there. And again, I cannot focus on, if you do not do that, if you turn your back and send it in the truck, they will not write a review. You have to be able to do this. And then I'm going to look up and say, Julie, thank you so much. You know, I read our Google reviews aloud to the entire crew every morning. It's such a great way to start the day. I'm really looking forward to reading what you have to say. Now, guys, that's it. That is hands down the quickest and most effective way to ask for and get well-written Google reviews that move you up in the search results and generate new business. Now, if you're really interested in learning a whole lot more about this, you know, what are Google's rules and regulations? What do our customers expect? You know, what goals do we need to spec? What are the different roles we play? How do we set this up so customers want to write reviews? After we ask them and send it, what kind of follow-ups do we need to do to get way more reviews and referrals? You know, how do we thank people appropriately so that they want to, at that moment, refer us to their family and friends? And how do we take all these reviews and testimonials we've gathered and use those to further promote our business? If you'd like to learn more about that, click on the link below and you'll learn a ton more about literally the superhero strategy for getting Google reviews. I hope this helped. I wish you the best. Go out there and kill them. Thank you.